Coach Burrow said, best coach I've ever had. I'm going to try to hire him back. I've made a mistake. If you can hire Lou Holtz, don't even talk to anybody else. Go hire him immediately. I end up at Notre Dame because of the guy that fired me in Arkansas because my wife did not allow me to get better. I'm not saying you don't ever need to be better, but when you're better, I'm going to tell you, you get better society, blame everybody else. When you pass away, your wife's going to have to hire Paul Bears because you won't have 6 friends. And this is the only joke I tell. My wife gets bad when I tell it. Guy's in the hospital. 83 years of age, his wife's with me, said Ethel. I remember we got married, I got fired from 2 jobs. Every time you're right there encouraging me, supporting me. Then I joined the Army, you joined the nurses course, so you could be with me. And I remember when I got wounded, you were right there with me, encouraging me, supporting me. And after the service, I started 5 businesses, they all failed. And every time you're there, encourage me, support me. Here I am, 83 years of age in the hospital, and you're still supporting me and encouraging me. I said, Ethel, I want you to know I've come to the conclusion you're bad luck. Somebody else's fault. Just do right. Rule number 2. Do everything to the very best of your ability. That's all. And one thing I learned from Woody Hayes when we won the national championship as an assistant coach, your obligation as a leader is not to be popular. Your obligation not to be somebody's friend. Your obligation to make people the very best they can be, and that can only happen when you have standards for people they're capable of reaching, and you encourage them to support them so they can achieve great things. All I ask people to do is do the best you can with the time allotted. You know, ladies and gentlemen, when I was in Arkansas, we're going to go play Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl, and I had to suspend 3 athletes, scored 78% of our touchdowns. It took me to court to try to get an injunction to play. The Attorney General for Arkansas represented me, Bill Clinton. He won the case, but I lost the team. We went down to play Oklahoma, and we were the largest underdog there's ever been in a major bowl game, because I had to suspend 3 athletes, scored 78% of our touchdowns. Nobody gave us a chance to win. Our team was very down, very negative. I had a team meeting, and I'm going to remind you, every story I tell you is absolutely true. The players came in and it was done. I said, gentlemen, I know why we can't win. Every day I read about the great players from Oklahoma going to play. And every day I read about the great players from Arkansas that are not going to play. But I've never read one positive comment about anybody in this room, so I know why we can't win. Tell me why we can't. For a while, nobody said anything. Finally, one young man got up and said, Coach, we have the #1 defense in the country, which we did. He said, so we aren't going to get beaten near as bad as everybody says. Wasn't what I wanted, but it was a step in the right direction. Then they pointed out we had a great competitor quarterback, we had a great punter, great place kicker. We had a great offensive line. I wanted them to say they had a great coach. That never came up. When they left the room, it was a different team. Why? They focused on what we could do and stopped worrying about what we lost. They started looking at what we had and not what we lost. That football team was a 24-point underdog, beat Oklahoma a couple nights later, 31-6. And they were #1 in the country, not because of coaches. Because a group of people looked at what we could do, stop worrying about why we could not do something. That's what a commitment to excellence is. And the last rule we have, show people you care. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all it is. I mentioned about my wife, we're opposite night and day. She said opposites attract and then attack, and that's true. But she only did 1 interview because they asked her about cancer. The question they said, what'd you learn from having cancer? She said, I learned how much my family loved me. Ladies and gentlemen, we didn't love her anymore because she had cancer. The fact is, we showed it more. Why does somebody have to have cancer before we show them how much we love them or appreciate them? Ladies and gentlemen, is that anybody in this room? There's anybody in this room that doesn't need a kind smile and encouragement, and you're never going to meet anybody again that doesn't feel the same way. People want to know you care about me. All business is helping people get what they want. You talk about all the business plans, everything else. It's simple. What does people want, and how can I help them get it better than anybody else? Just those 3 rules. Do the right thing. Do the best you can. Show people you care. That's all. You follow those 3 rules, you'll make good choices. Now, I do magic a little bit. Like do a simple little trick for you. It's like any other newspaper. They have the front page for people want to read the news. You have the comics for people who can't read. And we have the editorial page for people who can't think. But what I think is critical in this world, here's what I want you to know. I want you to take 2 people. Can be anybody in this world. Take those people and put these 3 questions on them. Simple yes or no. Can you trust them, yes or no? Are they committed to excellence? Yes or no? Do they care about you and the organization? Yes or no? I used to do this with a phone book when I was younger, but I guarantee you, the person you admire and respect, you said yes to all 3 questions. The person you got a problem with, you pinpointed the problem. Either you can't trust them, they aren't committed, or they don't care. Now, somebody said, how do you do that? Perfectly, I thought. But it ended I wake up in the middle of the night screaming because I can't figure it out. But those 3 rules answer those 3 questions. If you find somebody you trust, committed, and care, put your arm around them, hug them, never let them go. Those are the only 3 rules I've had for any football team I've coached or for myself or my children. And when somebody violated those rules, they call me and say, I'm not very smart. I don't believe you're doing the best you can in Spanish too. Here's why. You got an A in Spanish 1, you're getting a D in Spanish 2. You miss class, you miss study hall. I don't believe that's best you do. I want to know why. I did not attack the performer, but I did attack the performance. By having those 3 rules, it enabled them to understand their standards without criticizing the individual. Ladies and gentlemen, when I stood up here, I knew 10% of you wouldn't remember 10% of what I said 10 minutes after I said it. But for the last 26 minutes, you give me your most prized possession. I appreciate it. Things I've told you are things I believe. Attitude's critical. Everything starts with a dream. You need 4 things. And make good choices. You make good choices by following 3 rules. It's not complicated. I leave you with this very last thought. Want to be happy for an hour? Eat a steak. Want to be happy for a day? Play golf. Want to be happy for a week? Go on a cruise. Going on a cruise to me is like being in jail, except you have a chance to drown. Want to be happy for a month? Buy a new car. You want to be happy for a month? Buy a new car. Want to be happy for a year? Win the lottery. Want to be happy for a lifetime? Make good choices. Thank you very much.